AudioBooksTube is glad to produce, publish, and offer. Leave quietly, the power of silence, no complaints, no explanations. By Sage D. Esotreasure. In the midst of a world overflowing with chaos and noise, the philosophy of leaving quietly stands out as a beacon of grace and self-esteem. This approach to life's inevitable challenges isn't about passivity or weakness. Instead, it involves carefully choosing which battles to engage in and staying true to your values in the face of adversity. Embracing this mindset, which encourages departing without creating a disturbance, offers a powerful tool that can transform relationships, careers, and personal growth. The essence of this philosophy lies in simplicity. When you encounter disrespect, conflict, or a situation that no longer serves your best interests, you opt to step away without making a fuss or feeling the need to explain yourself. Recognizing when a situation has turned toxic or unproductive, and choosing to remove yourself with grace, is crucial for maintaining your mental and emotional well-being. Implementing this approach yields significant benefits across various aspects of life. By leaving quietly, you conserve your energy for pursuits that matter more, preserve your dignity in trying circumstances, and often inspire others to reflect on their own behavior. This philosophy empowers you to take control of your life without getting entangled in unnecessary drama or drawn-out conflicts. Leaving quietly also conveys a profound message. It reflects emotional maturity, self-discipline, and confidence, qualities that resonate deeply without the need for loud declarations. In a world that frequently celebrates those who make the most noise, the choice to exit silently can be a powerful and refreshing statement. It challenges the prevailing notion that every complaint must be voiced, every offense addressed, and every decision justified. As we explore this philosophy further, it becomes clear that its applications span across personal relationships and professional environments. Understanding when it's time to leave, knowing how to do so without causing unnecessary commotion, and managing the consequences of that choice are key components. While adopting the leave quietly approach may sometimes be difficult, the rewards it offers, personal growth, inner peace, and healthier relationships, are immeasurable. Mastering the power of silence. Silence holds a remarkable strength, often undervalued, in its ability to convey determination and resilience. In a world dominated by constant noise and chatter, silence becomes a potent tool. Consider the impact of someone choosing to remain quiet rather than engaging in pointless arguments. When confronted with conflict or disrespect, this silence communicates a level of confidence and tranquility that words often fail to capture. It's essential to differentiate between the silent treatment and the intentional use of silence. While the silent treatment can be a passive-aggressive tactic used to punish or control others, deliberate silence is a choice to uphold dignity and conserve energy. Recognizing when to speak and when to remain silent, while prioritizing integrity and self-esteem, is a key aspect of mastering this power. When you choose not to react to every slight, provocation, or misunderstanding, you gain control over your emotions and responses. This creates an environment where others are encouraged to reflect on their actions, rather than relying on your reactions. Silence, in this context, is not a weapon against others, but a shield that protects your inner peace and keeps you on course. In practice, this might mean opting out of a heated debate without feeling the need to have the final word. It could also involve walking away from a situation or relationship that no longer serves you, without offering lengthy explanations. Embracing silence allows you to conserve energy for more important matters, while cultivating an aura of mystery and strength. People are often intrigued by those who are comfortable with silence and do not feel the need to justify their actions. This can lead to increased respect and even admiration from those around you. Silence is not about passivity or allowing others to walk over you. Instead, it's about selecting which battles are worth fighting and recognizing that not every provocation deserves a reaction. Your actions in silence can often have a more profound impact than your words. Once you become adept at wielding this skill, you'll find yourself handling life's challenges with grace and confidence. Handling disrespect with dignity. In today's society, it is essential to equip yourself with tools to maintain your dignity and self-esteem, especially in the face of rampant disrespect. The first step in this journey is recognizing and understanding patterns of disrespect. Pay attention to the people around you, their words, actions, and even subtle body language can reveal a lack of respect that may have previously gone unnoticed. Once you've identified these patterns, it's time to take action. Protecting your dignity in the face of disrespect is not only about defending yourself, but also about reflecting your character and resilience. How others treat you is often a reflection of their internal struggles and insecurities, not a measure of your worth. By choosing not to engage in their negativity, you elevate yourself above the situation and maintain your integrity. However, this doesn't mean you should allow others to take advantage of you. It's important to assert yourself in a calm and confident manner, without stooping to the level of those who are disrespectful. A well-timed pause or a graceful exit can often communicate far more than a heated exchange. When you choose not to react emotionally, you deny the disrespectful person the satisfaction they seek, while staying in control of the situation. This approach helps conserve your energy, allowing the offender to confront their behavior without interpreting it as a personal attack. Consider each instance of disrespect as an opportunity to demonstrate resilience and integrity. These moments provide a chance to exercise self-control, set clear boundaries, and strengthen your sense of self-worth. Consistently responding to disrespect with grace and dignity not only garners respect from others, but also enhances your own self-respect. Ultimately, you have the power to determine how you react to disrespect. Will you let it bring you down, or will you use it as an opportunity for personal growth? The choice is yours, and the benefits of making the right decision are invaluable. Conclusion. The Leave Quietly philosophy is about much more than simply walking away from situations. It's a way of approaching life with grace, self-esteem, and a focus on what truly matters. By mastering the power of silence and handling disrespect with dignity, you reclaim control over your emotional responses and protect your inner peace. This approach isn't about avoiding conflict or letting others take advantage of you. Instead, it's about choosing which battles are worth your time and energy, and knowing when it's best to step away. In a noisy, chaotic world, the ability to leave quietly is both powerful and transformative. It challenges societal norms that encourage loud, reactive behavior, and instead promotes a deeper sense of self-worth, tranquility, and emotional maturity. As you apply these principles to your life, you'll find that personal growth, stronger relationships, and a sense of peace follow naturally. In a world filled with noise and misunderstanding, there is immense value in choosing to walk away from negativity and chaos with grace and dignity. The act of leaving quietly may seem counterintuitive in a culture that encourages loud reactions and constant justification. Yet, this philosophy offers a way to reclaim your self-respect, protect your mental energy, and build stronger relationships through the power of restraint. Consider the story of Timothy, a diligent employee at Spark Technologies. Known for his creativity and work ethic, Timothy started to struggle with his work environment when a new team leader, Marcus, took over. Marcus frequently ignored Timothy's ideas during meetings and often claimed credit for his work. During one tense morning, Marcus interrupted Timothy in the middle of a presentation, dismissing his ideas with the comment, "We don't have time for thoughts that aren't well formed." Timothy's initial reaction was anger and frustration. He wanted to defend himself, to confront Marcus for his unjust behavior. But instead of lashing out, Timothy chose to pause. He took a deep breath and maintained his composure, meeting Marcus's gaze with calmness. He then simply nodded, leaned back in his chair, and remained silent. The room was tense, with everyone expecting an argument or at least a sharp retort. However, Timothy's silence spoke louder than any words could have. By staying quiet, Timothy conveyed a sense of confidence and poise. His colleagues, who had expected him to argue, were taken aback by his grace under pressure. His silence not only diffused the tension but also made Marcus appear petty and unprofessional in comparison. Over the next few weeks, Timothy continued this approach. He focused on doing his work without feeling the need to defend or explain himself to Marcus. He acknowledged criticisms calmly but didn't let them rattle him. Gradually, Timothy's colleagues began to seek him out for collaboration, bypassing Marcus entirely. His department head took notice of this shift, and soon Timothy was offered a senior position in another department. During his interview, the CEO remarked on his ability to remain composed under pressure, calling it a rare and valuable trait in a leader. Timothy realized that his decision to remain silent in the face of provocation had done more for his career than any argument could have. The lesson Timothy learned was simple but profound. Silence can be far more powerful than words in situations where others expect conflict. By not responding to provocation, Timothy demonstrated emotional intelligence and inner strength. His experience underscores a key aspect of the leave quietly philosophy. Sometimes, walking away with dignity leaves a more lasting impression than standing your ground in a heated exchange. The pitfalls of complaining. In today's society, complaining has become almost second nature. Social media platforms and everyday conversations are filled with grievances and frustrations. However, as we dig deeper into the philosophy of leaving quietly, it becomes clear that complaining is not only ineffective, but it can also harm your mental health and relationships. Think back to the last time you complained about something. Did it lead to meaningful change? Did it improve your situation, or did it simply reinforce your frustration? Complaining is often a waste of energy that could be better spent finding solutions. When you shift your focus from airing grievances to taking constructive action, you gain control over your circumstances. This shift in mindset doesn't mean ignoring real problems. Rather, it means addressing them in a way that leads to resolution instead of perpetuating negativity. Additionally, constant complaining fosters a pessimistic outlook, which can prevent you from appreciating the good things in life. It can also push away friends, family, and colleagues who find your negativity draining. Instead of falling into the habit of complaining, try to approach problems with a solutions-oriented mindset. Cultivate gratitude for the positives in your life and take decisive action when something genuinely bothers you. In many cases, the most powerful response to a difficult situation is simply walking away. This embodies the true spirit of leaving quietly. By focusing on positivity and solutions, you'll find greater peace of mind, earn the respect of others, and feel more empowered to navigate life's challenges. The next time you feel the urge to complain, pause for a moment and ask yourself, is this really the most productive use of my energy? The answer might surprise you. The dangers of over-explaining. Another common pitfall in today's fast-paced world is the tendency to over-explain. In our efforts to be understood and justified, we often find ourselves giving too much information, which can lead to misunderstandings or make us seem defensive. Over-explaining rarely leads to better understanding. In fact, it often has the opposite effect, alienating others and undermining the clarity of your message. Mastering the art of leaving quietly also means knowing when to offer an explanation and when to remain silent. Not every situation requires a detailed account of your actions or decisions. Sometimes, silence can speak volumes. By maintaining your dignity and allowing your actions to speak for themselves, you project confidence and self-assurance. When you learn to balance clear communication with the power of silence, you gain greater control over how you are perceived. One of the key elements of this balance is knowing when to stop explaining. If you find yourself repeating the same points over and over, or trying to justify decisions that don't need justification, you've likely fallen into the trap of over-explaining. Recognizing this tendency is the first step toward breaking the habit. The next time you feel the urge to over-explain, pause and consider whether your words are truly necessary. Sometimes, leaving things unsaid is the most dignified choice you can make. In situations where an explanation is required, keep it brief and focused. Let your actions serve as the primary vehicle for communicating your values and intentions. By doing so, you avoid the defensiveness that often comes with over-explaining and maintain your sense of composure. Conclusion. The philosophy of leaving quietly is about much more than simply walking away from uncomfortable situations. It's about choosing grace and dignity in a world that often prioritizes noise and reaction. By mastering the power of silence, avoiding the pitfalls of complaining, and knowing when to stop explaining yourself, you reclaim control over your emotional energy and your personal narrative. Whether in professional settings, like Timothy's experience, or in personal relationships, this approach fosters respect and admiration from others. More importantly, it helps you cultivate a sense of inner peace and strength. In a society that often rewards those who speak the loudest, the quiet strength of walking away with dignity can be your most powerful asset. So, the next time you face conflict, disrespect, or frustration, remember that silence, restraint, and the decision to leave quietly might just be the most impactful choices you can make. Embracing the value of quiet departure in challenging situations can offer profound benefits in every aspect of your life. There is something deeply powerful about leaving behind unnecessary noise, drama, and over-explanations, allowing dignity and respect to guide your interactions. By adopting the leave quietly philosophy, you can transform your personal and professional relationships and bring about personal growth and peace of mind. Imagine for a moment a life where every confrontation, frustration, and conflict doesn't have to end with an argument or a dramatic goodbye. Instead, you can gracefully and silently choose to step away, letting your actions and composure speak for themselves. This idea captures the essence of maintaining mystery, an invaluable tool in navigating difficult situations and one that leaves others both curious and respectful of your boundaries. Establishing limits. Setting clear boundaries is essential in the journey of leaving quietly. Just as a well-kept garden has a fence to protect it from unwanted elements, your personal boundaries act as a protective barrier, safeguarding your emotional and mental health. Without boundaries, you might find yourself constantly justifying your choices, explaining your actions, or compromising your values. In such situations, it becomes harder to remain true to yourself. Boundaries are not barriers to keep others out, rather, they are tools that promote healthy relationships while maintaining your individuality. They communicate self-respect and teach others how to treat you. Recognizing and honoring your personal limits is not about being selfish, it's about protecting your space to thrive. To start, reflect on situations where your energy is drained or where others' actions make you uncomfortable. Once you identify these patterns, it's time to communicate them clearly. For example, instead of accusing someone by saying, "You're always interrupting me," you could express your boundary by stating, "I need to finish my thought before you respond." This type of communication prioritizes your needs without causing unnecessary conflict or tension. It's important to remember that setting boundaries isn't a one-time event. It's an ongoing process that requires consistent reinforcement. Sometimes, those around you will test your limits, whether consciously or not. Stay firm in your decisions and be prepared to assert your boundaries when necessary. Those who truly respect and value you will honor these limits. Over time, as you become more adept at establishing boundaries, you'll find that you can leave difficult situations with ease, without the need to over-explain or justify yourself. Making the decision to leave. One of the most important aspects of leaving quietly is knowing when it's time to go. This decision is not made lightly, but it can be a crucial step in protecting your mental and emotional well-being. After enduring a toxic environment or unhealthy situation, you may eventually reach a crossroads where staying is no longer sustainable. Leaving is not a sign of defeat. It's an act of self-care and a declaration that your well-being takes precedence. Think about the toll that staying in a negative environment has taken on your health. Stress, sleepless nights, and feelings of dissatisfaction are clear indicators that it's time for a change. Often, the decision to leave is an acknowledgement of your own worth and a commitment to a brighter future. As you contemplate your choice, take the time to weigh the pros and cons. Consider not only the practical aspects but also the intangibles, your happiness, sense of fulfillment, and potential for growth. Are you thriving, or are you simply surviving? Are you moving through life with purpose, or are you stuck in a routine that leaves you unfulfilled? These difficult questions can help clarify whether it's time to move on. Ultimately, the decision to leave is yours. Trust your instincts, as they have guided you thus far and will continue to do so. You possess the strength to make this life-changing decision, and once you take that first step, the possibilities for personal growth are limitless. Imagine the freedom that comes with no longer being held back by a toxic environment. Visualize the new adventures, opportunities, and connections that await you once you break free. Leaving isn't about running away from your problems, it's about running toward the life you deserve. Departing without drama. Learning how to leave a situation without causing unnecessary drama is a skill that can serve you well in both your personal and professional life. In an age where people overshare and seek validation through social media, the ability to slip away quietly and gracefully has become increasingly rare. Yet, it's this very quality that leaves others curious, wondering about your intentions. Leaving without a scene preserves your dignity and allows you to stay in control of the narrative. There's something inherently powerful about leaving like a fading shadow, unseen, yet unforgettable. Instead of engaging in heated arguments or emotional goodbyes, you can let your actions speak louder than words. Subtlety and understatement become your greatest allies. Consider the impact of walking away calmly, without providing the satisfaction of a dramatic exit. Your peaceful departure leaves others reflecting on their behavior and their treatment of you. It creates a sense of mystery and forces them to reconsider their actions. In a world that craves immediate responses, your quiet departure speaks volumes. Avoid the temptation to make a spectacle of yourself or to seek attention with grand gestures. Instead, prioritize your own peace and future happiness. The most impactful exits are often the quietest, leaving a lasting impression on those you leave behind. By mastering the art of the silent departure, you conserve emotional energy and remain in control of any situation. A relationship fades away. Take, for example, the relationship between Imelda and Alex. They had been together for 3 years, and in the beginning, their connection was magical, filled with passion and excitement. However, as time went on, the relationship became strained, and the endless possibilities that once defined their bond started to fade. Imelda, realizing that their relationship was no longer bringing her joy or fulfillment, chose not to engage in a bitter confrontation or to prolong the inevitable. Instead, she quietly withdrew. She stopped participating in arguments, stopped trying to fix what was broken, and eventually made the decision to leave without drama. Her quiet departure left Alex stunned, unsure of what had gone wrong. There were no final words, no teary goodbyes, just an absence that spoke louder than any argument could have. Imelda's decision to walk away without causing a scene preserved her dignity and allowed her to move forward without the baggage of a tumultuous breakup. Conclusion. The philosophy of leaving quietly is about much more than just walking away. It's about maintaining your dignity, setting boundaries, and protecting your emotional energy. Whether it's in relationships, work, or everyday life, the ability to slip away gracefully can be your most powerful asset. By embracing this approach, you can navigate life with more peace, respect, and control over your own narrative. The next time you face a challenging situation, remember that sometimes the best choice is to remain silent, set your boundaries, and walk away quietly. In doing so, you preserve your self-worth and allow others to reflect on their own actions. There is strength in silence, and leaving quietly can often speak louder than any words ever could. Imelda's story began like many others, full of love, hope, and possibility. She had met Alex at a time when everything seemed perfect. Alex was charismatic, thoughtful, and attentive, and their relationship initially bloomed like a fairy tale. Imelda, a dedicated elementary school teacher, was captivated by Alex's charm and unwavering commitment, or so she thought. As time passed, cracks in their relationship started to appear, small and almost imperceptible at first. Alex's once frequent compliments were replaced with casual, sometimes critical remarks about her appearance or cooking. Imelda, ever eager to please, found herself trying to keep up with Alex's shifting expectations, but slowly she began to lose herself in the process. She became more concerned about how Alex saw her, and her identity started to blur. As the months rolled on, the changes became more pronounced. Alex's mood swings intensified, and Imelda found herself walking on eggshells, constantly worried about triggering an angry outburst. Their conversations became one-sided, with Alex dismissing her thoughts, belittling her accomplishments, and overshadowing her needs. Imelda's aspirations, like her desire to pursue a master's degree, were mocked and diminished, and one night, after yet another demeaning argument, she realized she had reached her breaking point. Sitting alone in their shared apartment, with tears silently streaming down her face, Imelda reached for her journal. She began to write, listing all the ways the relationship had taken a toll on her. Her self-esteem had plummeted. She had distanced herself from her friends and family. Her passion for teaching, something she had always loved, had faded due to the constant stress and anxiety she faced. Dreams that once felt attainable now seemed distant, almost unreachable. Imelda knew she couldn't stay any longer. The emotional cost was simply too high. She looked at her list and, for the first time, saw her situation with clear eyes. It was time to leave. But the thought of confronting Alex filled her with dread. That's when she remembered something she had read about the power of leaving without making a scene, of walking away quietly, with dignity, and without fuss. In the weeks that followed, Imelda began to prepare for her departure. She confided in her sister and found a place to stay. Cautiously, she started moving her most treasured belongings to her sister's house, being careful not to raise Alex's suspicions. She also opened a separate bank account and began saving money, methodically planning her exit. During this time, Imelda maintained a calm and composed demeanor around Alex. When he criticized her, she no longer tried to defend herself or engage in futile arguments. Instead, she would nod quietly and shift the conversation to a different topic. Alex, perplexed by this change, became confused. He was used to Imelda's emotional responses, and her newfound calm left him unsettled. Finally, the day arrived. Imelda waited for a moment when she knew Alex would be out for a few hours. She gathered the last of her things, leaving behind anything that might lead to confrontation. She cleaned the apartment one final time, her meticulous attention to detail a quiet gesture of closure. Before leaving, Imelda wrote a brief, straightforward note. Alex, I have decided to end our relationship. I am leaving, and I will not be coming back. Please do not try to contact me. I wish you the best. Imelda. She left the note on the kitchen counter next to her apartment key. Taking a deep breath, Imelda took one last look around the apartment, then gently closed the door behind her. In the days that followed, her phone buzzed with messages and calls from Alex. His attempts to reach her ranged from persuasion to intimidation, but Imelda stayed resolute. She had said everything that needed to be said in her note. She knew that engaging in further conversation would only lead to more heartache and confusion. Over time, Imelda began to reconnect with herself. She reached out to old friends she had lost touch with, rekindled her love for teaching, and enrolled in the master's program she had once dreamed of. her quiet departure had empowered her in ways she hadn't anticipated. By choosing not to engage in drama, she had created the space she needed to rediscover her own identity and dreams. Looking back, Imelda never regretted her decision to leave quietly. There were moments of doubt, of course, and times when she felt sadness over what had been lost. But she remained composed, avoided unnecessary disputes, and allowed herself the peace of a fresh start. Her silent exit spoke volumes about her dignity and determination to improve her life. A year later, Imelda sat in her new apartment, surrounded by textbooks for her master's program. She took a moment to reflect on how far she had come. The woman who had left that note behind was a different person now, stronger, more confident, and filled with inner peace. She realized that leaving quietly wasn't just about ending a relationship, it was about reclaiming her life and rediscovering her true self. Imelda's story became an inspiration to her friends and colleagues. She had shown them the importance of knowing when to move on and the strength that can be found in silence. Sometimes, the most powerful message isn't spoken but conveyed through calm, dignified action. The ripple effect of leaving quietly. Choosing to leave quietly has a profound effect, not just on the individual making the decision but on everyone around them. This simple yet powerful act sets in motion a chain of events that can alter the dynamics of relationships and change the way people view you. When you leave without unnecessary drama, it forces others to reflect on their behavior. Without any clear explanations or complaints, they are left to wonder what caused you to leave. This uncertainty can serve as a powerful motivator for change, encouraging those left behind to examine their own actions. Moreover, the mystery of your quiet departure adds to your allure. By not explaining yourself, you preserve your dignity and self-respect, qualities that are undeniably attractive. People are naturally drawn to those who radiate confidence and self-assurance, and leaving quietly can boost your charm and appeal in various aspects of life. On a personal level, choosing to leave quietly demonstrates inner strength and determination. It shows that you are capable of walking away from situations that no longer serve you, and that you value yourself enough to prioritize your well-being. In essence, leaving quietly is not just about avoiding conflict. It's about embracing your own strength, reclaiming control over your life, and moving forward with grace and dignity. Imelda's journey began with high hopes and dreams, much like many others in love. She had found someone she thought she could build a life with, Alex, who was charming, engaging, and seemed committed to their relationship. Imelda, an elementary school teacher, admired his wit and confidence, believing their relationship would flourish with time. Yet, as months passed, small issues became harder to ignore. Alex's once kind and thoughtful remarks turned into subtle criticisms about her appearance, her cooking, even the way she approached life. His compliments became fewer, replaced by condescending tones that left Imelda questioning herself. She found herself trying to meet Alex's shifting expectations, losing sight of her own identity in the process. As the cracks in their relationship widened, Alex's mood swings became more apparent. Imelda began to tread carefully around him, fearing the unpredictable nature of his reactions. She found herself walking on eggshells, unsure of what might trigger his anger. Conversations, once balanced, turned into lectures, with Alex disregarding her opinions and belittling her accomplishments. His dismissiveness eroded her self-confidence, leaving her unsure of herself. One night, after Alex ridiculed her aspirations to pursue a master's degree, Imelda reached a breaking point. As she sat alone in their shared apartment, tears streamed down her face. In her solitude, she grabbed her journal and began writing. Her thoughts spilled onto the page, outlining how their relationship had diminished her self-esteem, distanced her from friends and family, and drained her passion for teaching. She realized that the stress and anxiety she faced daily had become unbearable, and her dreams now seemed impossibly far away. Imelda knew deep down that the relationship had run its course. Yet, the idea of confronting Alex filled her with dread. She didn't want a dramatic exit, and she wasn't interested in a confrontation. That's when she recalled a book she'd read, which spoke about the power of leaving quietly, without making a scene. The notion of slipping away silently, with her dignity intact, appealed to her. In the weeks that followed, Imelda made plans. She found refuge in her sister's home and began moving her belongings discreetly, making sure not to arouse Alex's suspicion. She opened a new bank account and started saving money, preparing herself for the day she would leave. During this time, Imelda remained calm around Alex. When he criticized her, she no longer responded emotionally. She would simply nod and change the subject. Alex, confused by her sudden composure, didn't know how to react. Finally, the day arrived. Imelda chose a time when Alex would be out of the apartment for several hours. She gathered her remaining belongings and, with quiet determination, left behind anything that might provoke a reaction. She cleaned the apartment one last time, ensuring everything was in its place before leaving. Her final gesture was a brief, carefully written note: "Alex, I've decided to end our relationship. I'm leaving and won't be coming back. Please do not try to contact me. I wish you the best, Imelda." She placed the note on the kitchen counter next to her apartment key, took a deep breath, and walked out. Imelda knew that this was the right decision. In the days that followed, her phone buzzed constantly with messages and calls from Alex. His tone shifted from pleading to angry to manipulative, but Imelda did not respond. She had said all she needed to in that one note, and she was determined to stay silent, knowing that further conversation would only bring more pain. As time passed, Imelda began to rediscover herself. She reconnected with friends she had distanced herself from and started focusing on her career again. Most importantly, she applied for the master's program she had dreamed of. The peace that came with her quiet departure empowered her. She no longer felt the need to justify her actions or explain herself to anyone. She had chosen her path with care, and she was content with her decision. A year later, Imelda sat in her new apartment, surrounded by textbooks, fully immersed in her master's program. She reflected on how much her life had changed since the day she walked out of that apartment. The woman who had written that note to Alex was now someone else entirely, stronger, more confident, and at peace. She had learned that leaving quietly wasn't just about ending a relationship, it was about reclaiming control over her life and rediscovering her true self. Imelda's story became an inspiration to her friends. Her ability to walk away without drama showed the strength in silence. Sometimes, the most powerful message isn't delivered through words, but through action. In her quiet departure, Imelda had sent a clear message to both Alex and herself. She was worth more than the pain she had endured, and she deserved a future filled with possibility. If you're enjoying this audiobook and finding value in the content, we kindly ask you to take a moment to subscribe to the channel. A large portion of our listeners and viewers haven't subscribed yet, and by doing so, you'll help us grow and continue bringing you more high-quality audiobooks. Your support means a lot to us, and it's just one click away. So, go ahead and hit that subscribe button to stay connected and never miss out on our latest releases. The power of quiet departures. Leaving a situation quietly carries a weight that words often cannot. By choosing to leave without a scene, you create space for both yourself and those around you to reflect. Those left behind are forced to confront their own actions in your absence, as there is no confrontation or explanation to soften the blow. This ambiguity often encourages deeper introspection and personal growth. At the same time, leaving quietly preserves your dignity and self-respect. It allows you to exit a situation with grace, without succumbing to the urge to explain or justify your actions. This approach often strengthens your confidence, as it affirms your belief in your own worth. People are naturally drawn to those who exude self-assurance and poise, and quiet departures can enhance your allure in various aspects of life. Quietly leaving also has profound effects on your personal development. It teaches you to prioritize your own well-being and to recognize when a situation no longer serves you. This self-awareness and resolve are crucial for building healthier, more fulfilling relationships in the future. By choosing to walk away with dignity, you signal to yourself and others that you value your peace above all else. In the aftermath of such a decision, emotions may surface, feelings of doubt, sadness, or even guilt. However, it is essential to remember why you chose to leave in the first place. These feelings are part of the process of healing and growth, and by resisting the urge to explain or return, you honor the strength it took to leave in the first place. Self-care after a quiet exit. Taking care of yourself after leaving quietly is vital. Engage in activities that nourish your mind and body, and surround yourself with supportive people who respect your choices. Whether it's exercising to release endorphins, practicing mindfulness, or seeking professional help, These steps are essential in helping you heal and rebuild your life. Through this journey, remember that leaving quietly isn't just about walking away, it's about choosing yourself. It's a declaration of your worth and your right to peace. When Imelda first met Victor, she thought she had finally found someone who truly understood her. He seemed to be everything she wanted: charming, intelligent, and attentive. Their relationship started beautifully, with Victor showering her with attention and making her feel special. Imelda, a graphic designer, was thriving in both her career and personal life. At first, everything seemed perfect. But as the months passed, subtle changes in Victor's behavior began to surface. The once supportive and loving man she knew started becoming more critical, belittling her achievements, and slowly isolating her from friends and family. Victor would make comments about her work, suggesting that her job wasn't serious compared to his corporate position. He made her feel as though her passions and dreams were secondary, unworthy of attention or respect. Imelda, naturally empathetic and kind, tried to reason with him, hoping that by being more understanding and patient, things would improve. She didn't realize at the time that she was slowly compromising her self-worth to keep the peace. As their relationship progressed, Victor's criticisms escalated. He would tell Imelda that her friends were a bad influence and that her family didn't understand their relationship. His emotional manipulation intensified, leaving Imelda feeling trapped in a cycle of guilt and confusion. Whenever she expressed her concerns, Victor would dismiss her, making her feel as though she was overreacting. He blamed her for the strain in their relationship, and gradually, Imelda began to believe him. She thought if she just worked harder at the relationship, everything would get better. But deep down, Imelda knew something was wrong. She started feeling a heaviness that she couldn't shake, a constant anxiety that lingered in her chest. She missed her old self, the confident woman who was passionate about her career and who found joy in her hobbies. She realized she was no longer that person, but instead someone who was constantly walking on eggshells, afraid of Victor's next outburst. The realization hit her during a particularly heated argument, where Victor accused her of not caring enough about their future because she didn't want to quit her job and move with him to another city for his promotion. That night, as Imelda lay awake in bed, she knew she had to leave, but she wasn't ready for a confrontation. She feared the emotional and mental toll it would take on her. That's when she decided she would leave quietly. No dramatic arguments, no final discussions, just a silent exit. She wanted to leave on her own terms, without Victor's manipulation clouding her decision. Over the next few weeks, she began to prepare herself mentally and emotionally for the departure. She reached out to a few close friends, people she had distanced herself from during her relationship with Victor. Their unwavering support reminded her of the person she used to be: confident, independent, and full of life. Slowly, she started making arrangements, finding a new apartment and securing a position at a different design firm. On the day she decided to leave, Imelda waited for Victor to head to work. She quietly packed her belongings, taking only what she needed, and left the apartment they had once shared. There was no note, no explanation. Imelda didn't want to engage in a dialogue that would only serve to manipulate her further. She chose silence as her final act of strength. After leaving, the transition wasn't easy. Victor tried reaching out, bombarding her with calls and messages, demanding to know why she left without any warning. But Imelda remained resolute. She didn't respond. She had made her decision, and she wasn't going to be pulled back into the toxicity of their relationship. The absence of explanation was deliberate. Her silence was a boundary, a way of protecting herself from the emotional manipulation she had endured for so long. In the weeks that followed, Imelda focused on rebuilding her life. She reconnected with her passions, rediscovering her love for design and art. She began taking online courses to expand her skills, enrolling in a program she had always dreamed of. She also found solace in therapy, which helped her process the emotional turmoil she had experienced and develop healthier boundaries for her future relationships. The days weren't without challenges. There were moments when the loneliness felt overwhelming, and when doubts crept in, making her question whether she had made the right decision. Financial worries and the fear of starting over haunted her during those quiet moments. But each time, Imelda reminded herself of the peace she now had, the freedom from constant criticism, the end of the endless cycle of guilt and self-doubt. When mutual friends asked her about what had happened with Victor, she would calmly say, "I made the best decision for my well-being. I'd rather not go into the details." Her quiet, confident resolve often left them puzzled but respectful. Imelda no longer felt the need to justify her choices to anyone, least of all to Victor. She had learned that leaving without a dramatic confrontation wasn't a sign of weakness, it was an assertion of her strength and self-respect. Over time, Imelda saw profound changes in herself. She felt a sense of empowerment she hadn't experienced in years. Her creativity flourished, and her artwork became a reflection of her emotional healing. The vibrant colors and bold lines she used symbolized the freedom and renewal she had found after leaving. Eventually, she secured a job at a smaller, more supportive design studio, where her ideas were valued, and her input was respected. She developed new friendships built on mutual respect, and for the first time in a long time, she felt truly at peace. A year after her quiet departure, Imelda sat in her cozy apartment, surrounded by her paintings and sketches. She reflected on how far she had come since that fateful day she walked out of her life with Victor. In choosing silence, she had reclaimed her power. She realized that she didn't need to defend her actions or explain herself to anyone. Her quiet departure had spoken volumes. It had allowed her to leave a toxic relationship on her own terms, without succumbing to the need for validation or closure from someone who had never truly valued her. Imelda's journey was one of quiet strength and resilience. she had discovered that leaving doesn't always have to be loud or confrontational to be effective. Sometimes, the most powerful decision you can make is to walk away silently, with your dignity intact, and never look back. It's not about running away from problems, but rather about choosing peace and self-respect over conflict and manipulation. By leaving quietly, Imelda had found the courage to start over and rebuild her life, stronger and more fulfilled than ever before. In situations where leaving isn't an immediate option, it's crucial to create a space that maintains your dignity and well-being. You don't have to physically walk away from every challenging scenario to protect yourself. Establishing strong boundaries is the first and most essential step in maintaining your mental and emotional health. Even when departure isn't feasible due to circumstances like financial constraints or family responsibilities, clear boundaries can serve as a safeguard against disrespect or mistreatment. By being intentional about your interactions, you can create emotional distance from toxic situations. Reduce contact with people who drain your energy and avoid conversations that escalate into unnecessary tension. It's about knowing when to step back and preserve your peace. When tensions rise, there's strength in choosing silence over confrontation and composure over chaos. Walking away from conflict, either emotionally or physically, can be the most empowering decision you make. This is where inner strength becomes vital. Developing your internal world, through hobbies, spirituality, or a strong social network, helps you cultivate resilience. It ensures you're not solely reliant on your external environment for validation or happiness. The more self-sufficient you become emotionally, the less likely you are to be affected by negativity around you. You don't have to justify your feelings or your decisions to others. Let your actions speak louder than your words. Practicing silence doesn't mean being passive. It's about using restraint wisely. Sometimes, silence can communicate more than words. Avoid getting caught in a loop of justifying your choices, explaining yourself repeatedly, or engaging in pointless debates. By maintaining control over your communication, you demonstrate not only your worth, but also your confidence. Show others your value through your accomplishments and behavior, not by trying to convince them of your worth. While staying in a challenging environment, it's also important to keep a long-term view in mind. Life is ever-changing, and what seems like an immovable obstacle today might shift tomorrow. Use the present moment to strategize, build yourself up, and prepare for future opportunities. When you're ready, the chance to leave or change your situation will present itself. Stay dedicated to your goals, remain principled in your approach, and when the time comes to make a change, you'll be ready. Leaving quietly, whether physically or mentally, is more about a mindset than just an action. Even if you can't physically remove yourself from a situation, you can still apply the principles of calm detachment and dignity. Surviving and thriving within a difficult situation requires patience and mental fortitude. Hold on to your self-respect, maintain your boundaries, and you will emerge stronger for it. True strength is not in how quickly you can leave, but in how you preserve your dignity while staying. Self-respect is the foundation upon which all personal growth and healthy relationships are built. It's crucial for your sense of worth and your emotional well-being. When you respect yourself, you teach others how to treat you. It also helps you withstand challenges with grace and prevents you from tolerating behavior that undermines your self-worth. Every time you allow someone to mistreat you without setting boundaries, you're communicating that it's acceptable. Building self-respect is a process that requires time, self-awareness, and discipline. It begins with recognizing your value, independent of anyone else's opinion, and living in alignment with your principles. Establish boundaries that reflect your worth, and enforce them consistently. Take time to celebrate your achievements, even the small ones, and use your mistakes as opportunities for growth rather than reasons for self-criticism. By surrounding yourself with people who uplift and inspire you, you reinforce the message that you deserve respect. When you consistently demonstrate self-respect in your actions, you not only enhance your own life, but also become a role model for others. People notice how you treat yourself, and they respond accordingly. Having self-respect also empowers you to gracefully exit situations when necessary. You don't need to explain yourself to others or seek validation for your choices. You have the right to prioritize your well-being without justification. This inner confidence and poise allow you to maintain dignity, even when faced with criticism or attempts to manipulate you. The journey to self-respect isn't linear, and it requires consistent reflection. Begin by identifying what truly matters to you, your values, and align your actions with those beliefs. Set boundaries that honor your worth, and don't compromise on them. Acknowledge your successes, and view your missteps as chances to grow rather than setbacks. Gradually, as you build this foundation of self-respect, you'll find that it influences every aspect of your life, from relationships to career choices. Mastering self-respect also means learning to express your needs clearly and confidently. This skill is essential when it comes to leaving quietly or handling difficult situations without resorting to conflict. Expressing your needs doesn't require forceful or dominant behavior, it simply calls for clarity and assertiveness. Being able to communicate your feelings and desires without falling into the trap of over-explaining or apologizing ensures that your voice is heard while maintaining your dignity. The key to effective communication lies in its simplicity. Speak clearly, without unnecessary elaboration, and remain confident in your message. One of the most effective tools for communicating needs without creating tension is the use of I statements. For example, instead of accusing someone by saying, "You never listen to me," shift the focus to how you feel. "I feel unheard when my ideas aren't acknowledged." This shift in tone can transform a potential conflict into a productive conversation. Choosing the right time to communicate is equally important. Effective communication often depends on timing. Waiting until emotions have settled before addressing a concern can significantly improve the outcome of the discussion. Approach conversations with a calm mindset, as emotional intensity can cloud the clarity of your message. Timing your communication wisely increases the likelihood of it being received as intended. Nonverbal cues are also a powerful part of communication. Confidence is conveyed not just in words, but in how you carry yourself, through eye contact, posture, and the tone of your voice. Standing tall and speaking clearly projects self-assurance, making your words more impactful. In the same way, listening attentively is an important part of communication. By truly hearing the other person, you create a space of mutual respect, making it more likely that your own needs will be met in return. In summary, expressing your needs effectively while maintaining dignity requires simplicity, clarity, and confidence. By mastering the art of clear communication, you can navigate difficult conversations without falling into the trap of over-explanation or unnecessary conflict. Whether you're planning to leave a situation quietly or remain in it with dignity, your ability to communicate with respect and confidence will ensure that your needs are met while preserving your self-worth. When faced with the choice to leave a situation, whether it's a personal relationship or a professional setting, it's essential to do so with dignity and calm. Rather than engaging in dramatic confrontations or feeling the need to explain yourself, leaving quietly allows you to prioritize your well-being without unnecessary conflict. This approach isn't about avoidance or weakness, rather, it reflects emotional maturity, resilience, and self-respect. One of the first steps in embracing this method is effective communication. Communicating your boundaries or decisions with clarity is crucial, but it doesn't require lengthy explanations or complaints. Whether you're addressing a personal relationship or navigating a work environment, your words should be direct and to the point. State your needs, but avoid getting tangled in unnecessary emotional discussions. By honing the ability to express yourself concisely, you not only maintain your peace but also encourage a healthier dynamic with those around you. This kind of communication fosters understanding, reduces the likelihood of unnecessary conflict, and ensures that your voice is respected. It's not about dominating the conversation or convincing others to agree with you, but about making sure your needs are heard without compromising your values. It's important to anticipate the reactions of others when you choose to leave quietly. People often struggle to understand why someone would step away without offering a detailed explanation. They might attempt to guilt trip or manipulate you into staying or providing more information than you're comfortable sharing. However, it's vital to remember that you owe no one an explanation when it comes to protecting your mental and emotional health. When others try to manipulate your decision, it's often a sign that you made the right choice. Stay grounded in the reasons that led you to your decision, and resist the urge to be pulled into their emotional traps. Emotional blackmail only serves to highlight the unhealthy dynamics that you are leaving behind. By remaining composed, you not only maintain your peace but also earn more respect than if you were to engage in heated debates or explanations. Leaving quietly offers long-term benefits that go beyond the immediate relief of avoiding conflict. By consistently choosing to walk away from drama, you build emotional resilience and a deeper sense of self-respect. This strength will serve as the foundation for your future relationships, enabling you to attract people who respect your boundaries and value your composure. Over time, you'll notice a shift in the types of people who enter your life, individuals who appreciate your calm demeanor and respect your ability to handle challenges with grace. One of the greatest advantages of leaving peacefully is the emotional intelligence you develop along the way. You'll gain a better understanding of your own needs and boundaries, and in turn, you'll become more attuned to the needs and boundaries of others. This heightened awareness improves your communication skills, sharpens your leadership abilities, and enhances the quality of your relationships. Additionally, choosing to leave quietly preserves your integrity. When faced with difficult or harmful situations, the ability to exit without resorting to negativity or drama reflects an inner strength that others will come to respect. Your reputation will be built on a foundation of poise, and the people who truly matter will admire you for your quiet strength. The energy you once spent on explaining yourself or engaging in conflict can now be redirected toward your personal development, your goals, and the cultivation of positive relationships. With each calm departure, you move closer to becoming a more empowered and fulfilled version of yourself. This journey isn't always easy, but the rewards are immense. You'll find greater contentment and joy as you witness the long-term benefits of prioritizing your peace and well-being over the need for validation or control. Leaving quietly isn't just a temporary tactic, it's a way of life that offers lasting rewards. While the philosophy of leaving quietly is powerful, it's essential to recognize that there are times when exceptions should be made. Life is rarely black and white, and sometimes silence can be misunderstood or even harmful. In situations where your departure might deeply affect someone you care about, offering a brief, considerate explanation can help maintain the relationship and provide closure. This is particularly true in long-term relationships or professional environments where you've built strong connections. However, offering an explanation doesn't mean you need to over-explain or get drawn into a lengthy discussion. A clear, concise message that communicates your decision without inviting unnecessary debate is often enough. This allows you to maintain your self-respect while showing consideration for the other person's feelings. There are also situations where silence can be misinterpreted as agreement with unacceptable behavior. When faced with abuse, discrimination, or severe injustice, it's crucial to speak up. Staying silent in the face of wrongdoing can perpetuate harm, both for yourself and others. In these moments, using your voice is not only acceptable but necessary. Speaking up against injustice aligns with your self-respect and personal values, and it can be a powerful catalyst for change. Leaving quietly doesn't mean allowing others to mistreat you or hiding your true self. It's about making thoughtful decisions and communicating in ways that uphold your integrity and values. By mastering the art of knowing when to speak and when to stay silent, you ensure that your actions are aligned with your personal growth and long-term well-being. Finally, As you develop the ability to leave quietly, you'll notice that the dynamics in your relationships start to shift. You'll attract individuals who value your strength and emotional intelligence. Whether in personal relationships or professional settings, people will come to respect your ability to handle challenges with composure. The peace and self-respect you cultivate through this process will have a ripple effect, enhancing every area of your life. In conclusion, leaving quietly is a skill that offers profound benefits, both immediately and in the long run. It's not about escaping conflict or avoiding difficult conversations, but about choosing a path that prioritizes your peace, self-respect, and personal growth. As you continue to practice this philosophy, you'll find yourself moving through life with greater ease, attracting more positive relationships, and building the future you've always envisioned. Handling complex situations with grace and insight is a skill that enhances your ability to leave quietly when necessary. By cultivating this capacity, you empower yourself to navigate life's obstacles with dignity and discretion, ensuring you remain aligned with your core values and important relationships. The idea of leaving quietly isn't a rigid rule, but a versatile approach that can adapt to different scenarios. In personal relationships, especially when a romantic connection has run its course, departing without creating unnecessary drama or conflict preserves both your dignity and your partner's. Rather than engaging in long-winded discussions or emotional confrontations, a peaceful exit speaks volumes about your maturity and self-respect. The same principle applies to friendships that have become toxic or one-sided. Sometimes, the best way to communicate that a relationship no longer serves you is by simply creating distance, calmly and without confrontation. In social situations, the leave quietly philosophy proves equally valuable. When a gathering or interaction no longer aligns with your values or is no longer enjoyable, departing discreetly allows you to maintain control over your experiences without making others uncomfortable. Mastering this subtle exit strategy ensures that you maintain your peace of mind while preventing unnecessary awkwardness for those around you. It allows you to allocate your time and energy to the people and experiences that truly matter. By learning to exit gracefully in various situations, you avoid unnecessary emotional exhaustion and steer clear of drama. This philosophy instills a sense of peace and purpose, both in your personal life and in your professional interactions. Rather than being consumed by the stress of maintaining relationships or environments that no longer serve you, you can focus on cultivating those that bring you joy and fulfillment. This thoughtful approach to leaving also enhances your emotional intelligence and resilience, enabling you to move through life with greater ease and clarity. Mastering the art of leaving quietly is not just about learning a technique, it's about adopting a mindset that prioritizes peace over conflict, silence over unnecessary explanations, and resilience over the desire for validation. As you integrate this philosophy into your life, you will come to appreciate the value of staying calm in the face of challenges. This approach empowers you to manage difficult decisions, exit gracefully, and start fresh when necessary, all while preserving your sense of self-respect. practicing the leave quietly approach requires dedication and awareness. It calls for a deep understanding of when to speak up and when to remain silent, when to stay and when to walk away. Over time, this will become an instinctive part of your daily life, guiding your interactions with others and helping you navigate both simple and complex situations with calm assurance. It's important to remember that leaving quietly doesn't mean becoming detached or unapproachable. Rather, it involves cultivating inner strength and resilience, allowing you to remain calm and composed in any situation. By practicing this philosophy, you'll develop a natural sense of when it's best to stay silent and when it's necessary to express yourself. You'll learn to handle life's challenges with confidence, earning the respect of others without having to demand it. Your ability to leave quietly will attract people who admire your poise and strength. They'll notice your calm demeanor and your ability to manage complex situations without getting caught up in unnecessary drama. This quiet strength will not only benefit you in your relationships but also in your professional life, where the ability to navigate difficult situations with discretion and grace is highly valued. Of course, mastering this skill takes time and practice. There will be moments when the temptation to complain or over-explain is strong, but in these moments, it's crucial to remember the power of silence. Embrace the challenges that arise as opportunities to strengthen your resolve and deepen your commitment to this practice. Over time, you'll find that the peace and strength that come from leaving quietly far outweigh the temporary satisfaction of engaging in conflict or seeking validation. The leave quietly philosophy is not just about exiting a situation, it's about embracing a way of being that prioritizes self-respect and peace. By practicing this approach, you'll evolve into someone who values inner tranquility over the need to explain yourself to others. You'll become someone who inspires those around you through your actions rather than your words, and someone who knows how to gracefully exit situations that no longer serve your well-being. This philosophy goes beyond just handling difficult moments. It's a mindset that encourages personal growth, emotional intelligence, and the ability to navigate life's challenges with poise. By incorporating this approach into your daily life, you'll notice a shift in the way you handle relationships, social situations, and even professional challenges. You'll learn to prioritize your peace and well-being without feeling the need to justify your decisions to others. In romantic relationships, friendships, social gatherings, and even professional settings, this approach can be transformative. It allows you to step away from toxic environments without getting pulled into unnecessary conflict. It ensures that you maintain control over your life and your interactions, empowering you to focus on what truly matters. As you continue to practice the leave quietly philosophy, you'll find that it becomes second nature, guiding you through life with greater confidence and peace. As we conclude this exploration of the leave quietly philosophy, it's important to fully embrace this powerful approach and make it a fundamental part of your life. By doing so, you'll cultivate a way of being that benefits you in all areas of life. You'll become someone who prioritizes self-respect over the need for external validation, who values peace over drama, and who inspires others through actions rather than explanations. Ultimately, mastering the art of leaving quietly is about much more than simply walking away from a situation. It's about becoming a person who handles life's challenges with grace and dignity. It's about developing the emotional intelligence and inner strength needed to navigate difficult moments without losing your sense of self. And most importantly, it's about creating a life that is aligned with your values, your peace of mind, and your long-term happiness. Copyright 2024 by AudioBooksTube. Thank you for listening. Please consider to subscribe, like, and share to help the channel grow new videos on a daily basis.